If your relationship feels like walking on eggshells, filled with manipulation, disrespect, and constant emotional pressure, that is not love. This is a control. And if that person is your constantly drunk or high husband, you definitely need help. Let's talk about how to free yourself from a toxic relationship, even if you feel stuck with it right now. Hello, brave hearts. My name is Svetlana Rudovska, and I help families navigate addiction with clarity, strength, and love. In this video, we'll talk how to protect yourself if you live with a toxic person who is almost always drunk or high. But firstly, let's see what toxic relationships are. Toxic relationships could be confusing because from the beginning they do not look like toxic. They look like protective. Toxic behavior begins with small things. For example, you see that your partner expects you to ask for permission to go out somewhere with your besties, or you feel guilty for wanting something which he doesn't want. Sometimes you feel like a child who is always being told off by a strict partner who acts like a parent. Sometimes you may notice that you better would stay silent because you are afraid to upset him. In such relationships, you start hiding some things. Your thoughts, your feelings, your plans, because you understand if you reveal them, it will lead you to argument or outburst. This overprotection starts like watching what you do, turning to watching your each move, commenting on what you say, turning to judging your every word. And slowly, in such relationships, you disappear. Your partner starts deciding what is good for both of you and what is bad. What makes things more complicated is when a toxic person is addicted to alcohol or drugs. So such person, when he's drunk or high, probably often becomes aggressive. I've been to such situation. I remember how I felt. I remember when he started yelling, I got frozen, I started to behave obediently and just waited till it finishes and just hoped that this is like his bad mood. He's not going to be like that forever. But then it happened again and again. And if you are in such toxic relationships and you try to justify his actions, you are trapped. Such people say, oh, maybe it's not his fault, maybe it was me, I didn't behave well enough. Or maybe I'm too sensitive to his words. I know he loves me and he wants to protect me. Or maybe I know he's consuming drugs or alcohol because life is so stressful, but he loves me and this is why he controls me. But even if you are saying this and you really believe in this, I'm sure you feel broken because it is not natural when one person overprotects another one and doesn't let them live their life. You are not your husband's pet to ask for permission to go out. He is not your owner. You are a human being, an individual who has their own feelings, your own decisions, and your own life, even if you are in the relationship. By the way, if it speaks to your reality, write me in the comments, it's me, and share your experience. It might be insightful for someone else. Now let's move on to the solutions. To deal with a toxic, addictive husband is a difficult task, but it is not impossible. I've been to such relationships and I managed to quit. Unfortunately, that person didn't want to change. I gave him some time, I tried to set some boundaries, which I followed, but he didn't, so we broke up. But it was a very difficult path. But maybe in your situation will be a happy end. A lot of things depend on him, not on you. So let me share with you some tips. Tip 1. Accept the truth. Toxic relationships often confuse, drain you, and make you doubt yourself. But you cannot act wisely until you understand the truth. So ask yourself some questions. Do I feel small around him? Do I hide parts of myself to keep peace? Do I ask him for a permission to go out or to take up doing something new? Do I feel more anxious than loved in our relationships? Does he treat me like I'm a naughty child or not? If your answers are yes, your relationships are not complicated. They are toxic. So the honesty will lead you to the next step. But if you are still not sure if it is toxic or not, I advise you, educate yourself. Learn what toxic relationships are to better understand what relationships are you in. Tip 2. Don't try to fix him or change him. I remember myself, I was trying to change and fix him. Now I understand how much ridiculous I was. But the change is possible when your partner or husband is willing to this change. So the toxic person should firstly realize his behavior and his willingness to work on it, because some people don't realize. They feel it like, okay, this is the nature I build up my relationships. And after a serious conversation, they may think that, okay, maybe I'm not so right. But the toxic person should be open to self-improvement or therapy. If they don't see their toxic behavior and refuse to get help, the change you probably hope for won't happen. Staying in this kind of relationship can hurt your emotional well-being. So try not to change them, but give them the opportunity for change. Tip 3. Set boundaries to protect yourself in these relationships. If you understand that your relationships are toxic and you are not ready to separate, you should set some boundaries in order not to lose yourself. So here are some tips. Know your limits. Identify with a toxic person what you will tolerate and what you won't. Think about some specific behaviors like name-calling, manipulation, disrespect, and tell your partner in advance that you will not allow them. Communicate clearly. Be direct and firm when you are explaining your boundaries. Use very short and clear statements. Don't be long. Say something like, I will not tolerate being yelled at. I need some freedom, so sometimes I'll go out with my best friend, and I think it's okay if you do it with your friends as well. Stay consistent. Enforce your boundaries consistently. If your partner crosses the line, calmly remind him about the boundary. If necessary, take a break or walk away for some time to show that you are serious about maintaining them. Tip 3. In case of aggression, act wisely. If your partner rejects all boundaries and continues disrespect you and you feel the aggressive pushback, consider temporary separation to see if it can make any changes. My personal temporary separation showed me he was not going to change. He was thinking how to get me back and control me more. Tip 5. Don't fall for his sudden change. The practice shows that when a wife pulls away her toxic husband, he suddenly becomes very kind, loving, and full of promises. This is called trauma bonding. It's an emotional manipulation which creates unhealthy attachment, making the victim feel loyal or dependent on the abuser. But believe me, it's not a real change. Change needs time. He just tries to control himself emotionally. Real love doesn't make people feel afraid, broken, confused every day. So don't let guilt pull you back. Tip 6. Direct him to the recovery program. If you see that he promises you that he'll change for better, or that he has realized that he was wrong and his behavior was toxic, the best decision here is to direct him to recovery program, to get rid of alcohol or drug dependency, to fix his psychological and emotional problems, and to learn how he can manage his emotions and respect other people's lives and choices. Without such radical changes, nothing will get better, no matter how many second chances you give. The key takeaway here is that you should understand that you are an adult person and you do need a permission even from your closest partner to choose peace, to earn love, and prove your worth. Your husband has to realize it as well, unless you will suffer again and again. If this helped you, hit the subscribe button, like and share with those people who need help. And see you in the next video, which will be on what to do if you depend financially on your alcoholic or drug-addicted husband. See you there!